Every summer we experience wildfire season, where various forests burn and cities notice a big drop in air quality. Wildfires have been around much longer than humans have, but fire frequency and intensity has greatly increased because of us. We could all benefit from looking at wildfires with an open mind and learning from their aftermath. In July of 2024, a thunderstorm ran through Lane County, starting various little fires. Lightning-caused fires are a bit of an outlier, as almost 9 out of 10 wildfires are human-caused. As standard incident management practice, the lightning fires were combined into the Lane 1 fire complex. The closest notable towns are Cottage Grove and Oak Ridge. Other than losing forests, the big motivation to put these fires out is our safety and also financial loss of timber, infrastructure, and property. The fire ended up being contained to a perimeter of 26,000 acres, which is big, but much smaller than the hundreds of thousands of acres that burned in eastern Oregon the same year. There weren't a lot of homes near the fire, but one thing worth protecting was Bohemia Mountain, which has some historic structures from our old gold mining days. Thankfully, some of the thunderstorm-caused fires were spotted pretty quickly after starting. But steep and remote terrain like this area is known to make managing a fire more difficult. Environmental conditions didn't help either, as 2024 was another hotter and drier summer than most years before. High winds would provide oxygen to fuel the fire and also keep it moving. Large wildfires usually have the perfect combination of hot, dry, and windy. The other big factor in this and many other fires is forest management, or a lack of it. This is a pretty debated topic, so information and solutions depend on who you ask. One side tends to create so many environmental regulations that can sometimes give the fires more fuel, while also making more restrictions to fight the fire. The other side wants to cut way too many forests down and comes up with conspiracies like blaming our wildfire problem on diversity. Does our increase in wildfire intensity correlate with human-caused climate change, or does it link back to DEI? Sadly, we may never know the answer to that. In a perfect world, every forest would be managed with prescribed burns, thinning, and clearing of debris, which is kind of what these fires do. Some wildfires should be allowed to naturally burn, but we have cut down or developed over so much forest land that we want to save what we have left. With humans being the leading cause of wildfire, we could greatly cut the number of fires we see. That would take some very creative education, enforcement, and also a lot of money. It seems like we don't have enough money to manage all forests, but it might be a wise investment seeing as how much these fires cost. A huge effort was made to keep this fire under control and prevent further spread to more forests and homes. The estimated cost of the Lane 1 fire was $75 million. 1,382 personnel were assigned to this fire. Wildfire response teams have to be well equipped and strategic to manage these fires. The incident management task of choosing a perimeter and deciding which resources to use where is something that has been greatly improved from studying these fires. Hand crews create fire lines like this to keep the wildfire within a perimeter. The ground crews get to the hard-to-reach places while being supported by other crews such as fire engines and air support. The work is difficult with long hours, rough terrain, hazardous trees, and of course, smoke and fire. The firefighters of this fire and others deserve a big thank you as they make a sacrifice of time, safety, and health. Overall, the response to this fire was great. You can see many smaller patches that were put out before spreading too far and becoming out of control. The Lane 1 fire definitely affected a lot of the land, but there are two ways to look at a fire. Fire is immediately destructive to the plants and animals that are displaced, but it is also a natural process that benefits many. As fire clears unwanted plant material and pests, other plants and animals will thrive with an opened-up landscape. Natural fire is a good thing, but the human-caused increase in frequency and intensity is something that we should look at reducing. Up until about 100 years ago, Bohemia Mountain was a huge gold mining site, and some historic remains are still present on the mountain. I won't really get into that here, but I have an older video all about Bohemia Mountain and its mining history. There are some nice old mining remains like adits and old buildings left for us to explore. If interested, you can search YouTube or Google for Matt.Cook Bohemia. Fortunately, the fire did not reach the Bohemia Saddle, which has most of the historic structures. mines are already dangerous to explore, and the buildings are in rough shape. But these are historical monuments that should be protected to tell the story of Oregon's gold mining days. The twin peak next to Bohemia Mountain is Fairview Peak, and on top is a fire lookout tower. Now it's boarded up for the off-season, but it probably was very useful with a full view of this fire zone. The Lane 1 fire is a success story, as modern technology and hard work triumphed in controlling this wildfire. But it also shows failure in the big picture of managing our forests and global environment as a whole. As the planet warms and our forest fire intensity rises, we should be looking at preventative measures. Unfortunately, we have a government that is looking to do the opposite by cutting funding to forests and increasing harvesting of natural resources. By learning about the connectedness of wildfire, climate change, and human actions, we can understand how to improve this situation.